Hi guys, this video is on chapter 6 chemical bonding, and this is on a 6.5 structure and physical properties of ionic compound. So state that ionic compounds form giant lattice structure. Deduce the formula of ionic compounds from their lattice structure and relate the physical properties of ionic compounds to their lattice structure. So it's all about the lattice structure. Let's talk about what is this lattice structure. So this is the structure of ionic compound. This structure, the NaCl, an example is NaCl. So NaCl in solid form, they actually exist like this. So all the Na plus, each Na plus or sodium ion is surrounded by chloride ion, and each chloride ion is surrounded by sodium ion. So this structure is called the giant lattice structure. And of course, all these sodium ion and chloride ion, positive and negative ion, they are held very strongly by strong electrostatic attraction forces. Okay, positive and negative, there is strong electrostatic attraction forces. So when you draw it in a less congested form like this, you can actually see very clearly each sodium ion, okay, is placed next to chloride ion, and each sodium ion is surrounded by 6 chloride ion. Now let's look at this. Let's look at this sodium ion. So this sodium ion is surrounded by 6 chloride ion. Where are the 6 chloride ion? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's one more outside here which is not drawn. So each sodium ion is surrounded by 6 chloride ion, and each chloride ion, let's look at this chloride ion. It is surrounded by 6 sodium ion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sodium ion. So when you have this situation, the ratio of Na plus and Cl minus is actually 1:1. And because of the ratio 1:1, so the formula is NaCl. Okay. So this part it's on the giant lattice structure. So just remember, all ionic compound, the structure, it's called giant lattice structure. And this giant lattice structure is very special. Each positive ion is surrounded by negative ion, and each negative ion is surrounded by positive ion, and the positive and negative ion are held by strong electrostatic attraction forces. So this is a key word here. Now, why is this structure so important? Because it explains its physical properties. Because it explains the physical properties of ionic compound. So what are the physical properties of ionic compound? First one, high boiling and melting point. So ionic compound is very non-volatile. So how do you explain that? How do you explain the fact that ionic compounds have high boiling and melting point? So first thing, you have to explain from the structure. So it has giant lattice structure. So again, positive and negative ions, so there should be an ions here, are held by strong electrostatic attraction forces in fixed position in the structure. And because the attraction forces is very strong, you need a lot of energy to overcome the forces. That's why you need a very high temperature to melt it or to boil it. So these are the 3 key points to answer the question, why ionic compound has high boiling and melting point. These are the 3 key points. Very important. Okay. Now the second property is ionic compounds are mostly soluble in water, insoluble in organic solvent. What are the example of organic solvent? A very good example would be ethanol. Ethanol is an organic solvent. And the third physical property is ionic compound conduct electricity in aqueous and molten state. Aqueous means dissolved in water. Aqueous means dissolved in water. Molten means melted. So both basically means liquid state. But you cannot say liquid state. You have to be very specific. When it comes to the physical property of ionic compounds, right? You cannot just say, oh, ionic compound conduct electricity in liquid state. Cannot. You must be more specific. Liquid, it means aqueous and molten state. Now, when melted or dissolved, now why is it so? Why are ionic compounds conduct electricity in aqueous and molten state and don't conduct electricity in solid state? Why? Because when the ionic compounds are melted or dissolved in water, the ions would be free to move around. Because electrical conductivity, okay, electrical conductivity, it's about the movement of charges, okay, the movement of charges. So when ionic compounds melt or dissolve in water, the ions are free to move around to carry the charges, so there is a movement of charges. And in solid state, the ions are held in fixed position like this by strong electrostatic attraction forces. So the ions are not free about to carry the charges. Okay, so when the ionic compounds are dissolved in water, so this is what happened. The Na plus and the Cl minus are separated. So when they are separated, they are free to move about to carry the charges. So these are the three very important properties of ionic compound: high boiling and melting point, soluble in water, insoluble in organic solvent, conduct electricity in aqueous and molten state, but not in solid state. Why? Then you have to explain why here. Okay, that will be the end of chapter 6, chemical bonding, ionic bond. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.